Before we begin, I would like to recognize some people in the room, so please stand when I call your name so that you can be recognized. We do this every quarterly membership luncheon. Our chamber board, Stinson Sanders, Willie Morgan, Beth DeTomo, Holly Gray, Katie Ridge, Greg Sims, David Ellis, and Judge Bobby Stovall. Our chamber ambassadors, and there's a bunch here: Rose Hayden, Chasen Carpenter, Katie Ridge, Alyssa Davis, Luanne Dickens, Willie Morgan, Tracy Fenton, Karen Clark, Beth DeTomo, David Weiland, Kami Williams, Julia Winsel, Debbie Sickles, Liz Patterson, Sheila Ellis, and Shannon Hansen. We have a great, we have 30 ambassadors. They're great. Our business partners in the room today: Platinum Partner L3 Harris, Diamond Partner Family First Home Health, Gold Partner Alliance Bank, Silver Partners American National Bank, Cornerstone Insurance, Hunt Regional Healthcare, Lone Star Credit Union, GEUS, and Texas A&M Commerce. Our bronze partners: Atmos Energy, Waste Connections, Greenville Health and Rehab. We also have, and I've already said his name, but we have Hunt County Judge Bobby Stovall, City Councilwoman Kristen Washington, Greenville Board of Development is here with Chet Haney, Holly Gray, Mark Scott is here, David Ellis, Greg Sims, and John Dixon. And of course, we have Dr. Mark Rudin with Texas A&M University Commerce, and Dr. Graham Sweeney, retired with Bowles ISD. I didn't want to forget you. And then there's also a special group here today, some of this year's Hunt County Leadership Class of 2021. So if you could stand: Alyssa Davis, Hubert Bears, Willie Morgan, Debbie Sickles, Vince Patterson, Roxanne Turner, Jennifer Robinson, I don't know if she's come in yet, and Shannon Hansen. So they graduate next Thursday, and I'm very proud of them for all that they have accomplished this past COVID year, because it was a hard year. And then I want to thank the community and the business partners and the speakers who helped get the message across about Hunt County leadership, because, you know, everything was locked down, so we didn't get to do a lot of tours or anything like that. But at this moment, I am going to invite Vince Patterson from the group to come up to the stage to kind of tell you about what they accomplished this year.
Can everybody hear me? Good? I'm too loud? Okay. So I'm going to pull out my notes, or else I'm going to talk for 10 hours. So Shelly had reached out to me and asked me to kind of give everyone an update, kind of what about our project as Leadership Hunt County has recently completed as of last month. And for those of you who have done it in the previous years, and maybe those of you don't know, as a part of Hunt County Leadership, we all have to complete a community project. And us as a group, we did a lot of brainstorming. We had a lot of people come in and talk to us in the local community about some of the needs. And at the end of the day, we as a group really wanted to make sure that whatever we did was really going to have the greatest impact and cast the widest net in terms of solutions. So we had a lot of options. At the end of the day, we voted on it. The ultimate winner was designated to Script. I don't know if anybody from Script is here today, but Script had a pretty large need. They needed a new Meals on Wheels delivery vehicle to deliver meals all over the county, not just here in town, but they service all parts of Hunt County. In addition, they were looking at some additional funds for a beautification project for the center on Lee Street. In addition to, they were needing some sponsorship money for the annual tea fundraiser that they do. So we helped them not only source a car, courtesy of Britton Chevrolet. I don't know if anybody from Britton's here, but thank you for helping us do that. The second thing is we had to come up with how are we going to raise this $25,000. And quite frankly, last year was tough for everybody, you know, financially, not for businesses, but in your own personal households due to COVID and everything else. And so we came up with a couple of raffles, and man, we killed it with the raffles. I think we pre-sold all of our tickets before we even had tickets in hand to hand out. So I think between the two gun raffles that we ended up doing, I think we raised, Debbie, what, between $7,000 to $10,000, give or take, on average after the two raffles. And then the remainder of the money that we raised, we came up with the idea to sell ad space on the Meals on Wheels delivery vehicles. Not just the one that we sourced for them, but the other three that they already had in service, just because they service the entire county. So we went, and I'll be honest, like with the whole COVID piece and everything like that, I was really concerned with the $25,000, but I have to seriously give it a hand to everybody who was in that group with me. We killed it. Like, not only did we earn the 25 grand, but we did it in less than 3 months. And we were able to, thanks. We were able to deliver that check to them at their annual tea back April 1st, I believe. So to date, I think when I checked with Debbie yesterday, I think we've raised close to 32 grand to date. We've delivered 25 of it. We have some operating expenses that we've incurred that will come out of that, but the remainder is going to go to them when it's all said and done. So, man, it was just, it couldn't have worked out any more perfectly. So for those of you who purchased an ad, thank you from our group, on behalf of our group. For those of you, we do have one ad that's possibly still available. It's kind of a TBD. If you have interest, you know, stop and talk to Debbie or myself or anybody else here that's part of leadership. But I'll leave you this. Most importantly, if you did purchase an ad, try and get it to us as soon as possible, because we're trying to get those created and installed with the vendor. Our goal is hopefully by the end of the summer so that we can kind of put it to rest and move on. But I'll leave you with this. If you haven't done, or if you contemplated doing leadership Hunt County, man, I couldn't recommend it anymore. I mean, for me, I grew up here. I left. I've been gone for 14, 15 years. I just moved back to the area 4 years ago, and it was a really great opportunity, not only for me to re-engage here, but I gained a lot of new friends out of it. I mean, I knew of a lot of people that were in the program, but there were a lot of new faces that, you know, I'll take even once this is long and gone. But second thing is script. They always need volunteers, Meals on Wheels, parking lot bingo. If you have an hour of your time, please go donate. I just went and did Meals on Wheels yesterday with 2 of my kids, and they loved it. So that's all I really have, so thank you for your time.
I do want to thank our advertising sponsor today, Waste Connections. They are not here, but I greatly appreciate their support. Next, we're going to hear a few minutes from Luanne Dickens with Greenville, Floral, and Gifts, and she is also a chamber ambassador.
Thank y'all. When Shelley called me, I said, oh, this is just really not something I do. Okay, step out of the box, and here we go. For the flower shop, when COVID hit and we had to shut down, we completely shut down, and I started getting phone calls, and mainly from the funeral homes and families that had lost someone, and wanting to know if I couldn't please do flowers for funerals. So started getting hold of Bobby, and he helped me in every way he could because we wanted to be fair about it. So we started meeting families out in the parking lot at the flower shop instead of being open, and then we would deliver them to the funeral home. And so then as time went on, we would also do some deliveries when things lightened up a little bit, but we went to the home and left it on their doorstep and got back in the van and called them and told them they had flowers. So that brightened a lot of people's days because, you know, people were down, depressed, and thinking, oh, we get flowers. So we kind of built it up little by little. But we had to cancel all our proms. So all the tuxedos that we already had rented out, we had to send out checks and refund their money. Some had already ordered their flowers and all that. That all had to be canceled. And so a lot of the kids, of course, didn't have their senior prom, didn't have their graduation. And so, you know, we felt sorry for all of them, but we got flowers to the ones that we could. Then also, we had to cancel Make Somebody Smile Day, where year before we delivered 490 mugs to all the nursing homes for people that were shut in. Well, we no longer could do that. So, in fact, the families couldn't even get in. But this year, we're going to get to do it, and we're so excited. We're all wearing masks, and Altrusa girls are helping us, and we're going to get them all delivered. And we've got permission from all the nursing homes, and a lot of them are looking forward to it because some of them don't have anybody. So this is something that I just really, really enjoy doing, is taking them flowers, and it makes their day. And some of them have them from prior years, and they're so excited to add another one to their collection, which is fantastic. And then also Good Neighbor Day is where I give out over 1,000 roses, and you get 12 roses, you keep one for yourself, and then you give the other 11 away. And it's just a kind thing. Well, that was canceled. So this year, I believe we're going to get to do it again. So we're on the uphill, and we're just hoping that we can do more things. And people have been real patient about it, but we're just glad that we could start getting things delivered. And thanks, Bobby, for all his support. And he's trying to figure out how we can do it the right way, and I really appreciated that. But I'm still, like everybody else, short-staffed. A lot of the people haven't came back to work yet, and so I'm needing staff at all 3 locations. Of course, you know that during all this, I had to move my boutique because the building sold, so I had to find another place and move it, and I was determined to stay downtown and keep it open and going. So that all worked in, but thanked a lot of prayers. So then another thing came up about downtown, and most of you know that I opened a store for Mary Puddin Hill. I just felt like we needed to bring that back to Greenville, bring more people downtown to Greenville, and it's really seems to be working because I get people traveling all the time that are coming through there, and we're trying to give them maps and tell them all the places that are downtown that they can stop at. And I just think this is a really good way to get downtown Greenville going again. Only thing, people are disappointed at Puddin Hill, I cannot give out samples yet because of the health department, but we're working on it. We're going to get there. And hopefully at the next QML, we'll be able to have Mary Puddin Hill with samples. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But I appreciate everybody's support, and it's been wonderful. Thank you.
And by the way, Luanne provided the sunflowers that are on some of your tables. They are beautiful.
And also, too, the chocolate-covered Oreos are terrible. Just don't go down there and buy them.
Next, I'm going to have Javier Villegas with tamales provided your lunch today, and he's going to say a few words about tamales.
Good afternoon, guys. How are y'all? Hello. First of all, I mean, it's been a rough past year, especially in the food industry. It's probably one of the industries that got hit the hardest. I mean, mostly for small local restaurants. I mean, they were just closing. the thing that we did the most, like, was work with the state regulations versus the county regulations. So we always had to look up to date of what was going on, what we can do, what we can't do. When they closed the dine-in, that was pretty tough for us. So we came up with a method. We have a carry-out. I don't know if you people probably ordered to go. So we came up with that, and everybody loved it. I mean, it was one of those things that just kept the wheels going. I mean, also, once they started opening the dine-in, I mean, a lot of people, you know, the support from the community. I mean, we've been in Greenville for a long time, and it was just, we were happy to see our customers, you know, first of all, and then we had to wear our mask, and then it was just sad because we like to see people smile, you know, when they come in. But what happened a lot right now, what's going on right now is the hiring. Like, it's most restaurants, if you go, they have a now hiring sign. I mean, it's so, I feel bad sometimes. I mean, we're one of the lucky ones that kept most of our staff because we just moved everybody around. We send them to other tamales. Hey, you want to come, you know, help us do takeout? Or, I mean, we were one of the lucky ones. I mean, it was heartbreaking for me, you know, telling half of the staff, hey, you know, we're gonna lay you guys off. I mean, it's tough. But this year, you know, everybody's open 100%, which we love, we like. But it's a tough one. But we're getting over it. Everybody's getting over it. But we just gotta, you know, keep the wheels going. But I hope you guys enjoy your lunch.
It was terrific.
What helped us a lot too, you know, a lot of catering. Like, you know, the lady about the floral business, you know, she had a lot of cancellations with us. We had a lot of wedding reschedules. And it's just been a tough one, so.
Changed your business model, didn't you?
It did change the business model for everybody. I mean, and we don't know how it's still gonna go. I mean, it's just one of those things that we just watch the news and just see what's gonna happen next, so. But anyways, guys, thank you. So.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I have Rose Hayden with Hunt Regional Healthcare. She's also a chamber ambassador. She'd like to say a few words.
Hello. To finish off this recap of COVID-19, I think we've determined we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. I think we're all right. So just wanted to say, obviously, in January, February, and March, we were very invested in giving vaccines to the community. I wanted to thank especially the county, the city, the volunteers, and especially as well Texas A&M Commerce, Maxine Mendoza with the health clinic and the student nurses. It was just so helpful to have you all help participate with that. It was a community endeavor especially, but we just wanted to say that we appreciate your support. We know that things weren't as smooth as they could be, but we worked as hard as we could to make that happen for you and appreciate everything you could do. So thank you again.
So just wanted to say before you leave today, please check out the booths that are here. We have Alliance Bank, GEUS, Family First, Home Health, Greenville Health and Rehab, Britex Bubbles, and Texas A&M Commerce, and they have some shirts over there they're giving away. So, and then just real quick, I just want to, we have a few events coming up. One of them is Nola Fest, which is next Saturday. And it's from 11 to 7 downtown at the Market Square. We're going to have live blues music. We're going to have vendors, Cajun food, and beer. So y'all come out. All right? We also have a ribbon cutting next week with Dustin Smith at Smith Quality Buildings at his place on Tuesday, June 15th at 1:30. And then, of course, everybody's favorite Business After Hours with Keep Greenville Beautiful and Century 21 First Group. And it's going to be at the Century 21 First Group offices. And that is June 17th from 5 to 7. And I believe they're having a tailgate party, right, Holly? Yes, so that'll be fun. At this time, I'm going to ask Dee Hilton to come to the stage, and he's the Transportation Chair with the Hunt County Transportation Steering Committee.
Well, I don't have a suit on, and I probably smell, so I hope you'll excuse that. But there have been about 350 of us from about 25 different churches in the community on a 4-day mission trip, and we've been picking up trash, doing carpentry work, putting on roofs, and doing various things in the community, and it's been a great time. And if some of you don't have anything to do tomorrow morning, we still have trash in Greenville to pick up, and we'd love to have you come to Ridgecrest Church at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll give you breakfast and send you on your way. You can help pick up trash or do some other chores. So that's but I was just sitting here, like Bobby. I've lived here all my life, and you know, it's wonderful to be in a small community, and just listening to Luanne and Javier and Rose. You know, it's wonderful to see how this community has responded to the challenge of COVID. I mean, it's just been great to see people innovate, come up with new ways to keep their businesses alive, to see people in the community support businesses in ways that they hadn't before. And I just think it's a wonderful thing for our community to have gone through that, and isn't it great to be on the other side of it? So. But I'm not up here to pontificate, so I'll stop. My job today is to introduce Mark Rudin. And Mark is the president of Texas A&M Commerce, as I think all of you probably know. And he's held that position since August of 2018. Prior to that, he was the senior vice president of economic development and research at Boise State, and was there for about 11 years, and prior to that at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and also taught at Idaho State for some period of time. He did consulting work for the U.S. Department of Energy in some earlier days, and he has 3 degrees from Purdue University, generally in the area of health physics, and which is an interesting thing to have been in, I'm sure, watching things like COVID and other things come along. But most of all, he's bringing innovation to Texas A&M Commerce. He's very interested in student success, economic development, and ways of taking the traditional student model and changing that in ways that fit the needs of students today, whether it be online or other ways of getting educational opportunities to students, and sometimes in a non-traditional way. So one of the things that occurred a couple of months ago, you probably saw an announcement that Texas A&M Commerce was going to put a campus in Dallas, kind of near North Park, and so I contacted Mark and asked him if he would come and talk a little bit about the future of Texas A&M Commerce. They've done a strategic plan since Mark's been on board here, and I asked him to speak about the university, the institution, what his plans are, what the A&M system plans are, and specifically how that impacts Hunt County, because A&M Commerce is a very, very important part of Hunt County, and I know all of you are very interested in the viability of that university and the impact that it has on our region. Mark and I have spent a lot of time talking about, all the possibilities for that university to really be an economic engine for our region, and even outside of Hunt County. And they're really the university of Northeast Texas. And so we're real anxious to hear Mark today talk about the university and what has transpired and what the plans are for the future. So Mark, thank you for coming.
I think I have the lapel mic on now. Is the lapel working? Can you all hear me? Is it because my voice or the lapel mic? Okay. All right, we can go like this. Hey, oh. That goes forward. Okay, very good. Well, good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's a pleasure. Before I was a president of a university, as Dee mentioned, and first of all, I better thank Shelley. Where'd Shelley go? Shelley, thank you so much for having me today, and the board and all of you out there. I can't tell you how proud we are as a university to be part of Hunt County and how important the county is to us as an institution. And so please don't ever never think that you are not important. You're extremely important to everything we do as an institution. So, but before I took the presidency here, as Dee mentioned, I was the VP for Research and Economic Development. I spent the majority of my time overseeing research at the university and hanging out with you folks. That's what I did. Industry, chambers, whatever that would be. I hung out with industry and had dialogue with industry and figured out ways to make our students better through dialogue with you. Okay? And bring that information back to the university, bring it back to the students, bring it back to the faculty, and teach any skills that we need to teach above and beyond the skills we already teach. And I don't have a lot of time, so I hope I don't seem rushed on some of my remarks, but I have so much to say to you, and I hope we can catch up more and more as time goes on, now that COVID is over. And by the way, I made a pledge to myself, I'm not talking about COVID anymore. We're going to move forward, right? We recently had a physical return, everyone back to campus June 1, back to normal operations come fall semester, and we're going to be raring and ready to go. Okay, so I can't tell you how excited we are about that. But now that we're breaking out of this COVID thing, I have to figure out ways, and the university has to figure out ways to get you hooked up with our students. Okay, when I sit down and talk to our students, the theme that comes over and over and over again that I hear from them is what they want. They want mentorship. That's what they want. If a student of ours is walking across campus to the Career Center when they're a senior, second semester, looking for resume help and getting a job, it's too late. Those days are over. That model's no good anymore. We have to figure out ways to get people like you in the room with our students and impart your knowledge and your wisdom and your experiences and so forth to our students. And I'll tell you what, and some of the things, this is being videotaped, so I got to be somewhat careful what I say here. I don't have to. I would say this too. We also, and this is my personal opinion, this is going to be one of my charges, personal charges I'm going to have this coming year. I have to figure out ways to get you and impart your knowledge to our faculty, okay? Because our faculty, that faculty class, student faculty classroom is a very sacred ground. Whenever you hear people talk about when they graduate and they move on, I hear so many times, hey, I did this because of this faculty member. I got to know that faculty member. And so that interaction between faculty member and students is very, very sacred ground. But when you think about it, the way higher ed is oftentimes set up, people get their PhDs, we give them the degree, get in the classroom, go. No experience, right? No practical experience. And so oftentimes, as one example, we have our faculty go on sabbaticals, okay? And they go out and do research, or they go study this over there, and so forth. What about things like sabbaticals for our faculty? If you're an engineer, go work at L3 Harris for a semester, or go work for someone else, computer science company for a semester. And just get a handle on the practical applications of what you're teaching in the classroom, and maybe bring that back into the classroom. I could talk about this for hours. I can't. I got to move on. But I just want to let you know that how important I and the university feel you all are to us. Points of distinction, this will only take a couple seconds. We didn't let COVID slow us down. We're doing a lot of cool things. You may have heard a little while ago that we became an all Steinway school, a school that strictly trains our people, our students, on Steinway pianos. And in particularly, this new technology called Stereo, which allows you to, a musician to play a piece and then have the piece played over on the same piano and transferred and transitioned over to other pianos throughout the world. And that's the first of that technology being implemented here at A&M Commerce. I'll tell you another thing we are working on right now is, and I can't tell you too much about this because I simply don't know yet, okay? But we are in active discussions with Adobe. And Adobe is a software company that has this designation of a creative campus. And we're in the process now of exploring that and pursuing that and saying, how do we partner with Adobe to incorporate digital learning, digital competency in all our classes? Not just art, not just history, but math, engineering, everything. Our students are digital natives, they're digital learners. How do we incorporate that? And how do our faculty step up to help them do that? You're going to hear, I promise you, you're going to hear more about that. And another thing is that we've had Abby and Davida over here talking and setting up about competency-based education. Competency-based education in a very concise way is a degree program we have that someone with some college credit can come, have that credit applied to, or the university consider that credit, count it towards a degree, and then lay out a coursework, a plan in a very flexible and affordable schedule or manner for you to complete your degree. We have millions. I think the last number I heard was like 3.2 million or so people, Texans, that have some college, no degree. CBE allows that opportunity to make that happen on a flexible schedule, an affordable schedule. Real quick, think about if you're going to be going after a criminal justice degree under CBE, and you need maybe 40, 50, 60 more credits to go. The way it's set up right now for $750 or $1,000 for a 7-week block of time, you can come and take as many credits as you want in that block online, okay? Complete those. If you complete them, then you move on to the next block and you keep on going. And it's strictly based on competency. The old model of higher ed, 16-week semester, we start here, and I'm stuck in a class with Greg Sims, who knows everything, okay? and I'm plodding through the course, but Greg Sims maybe, you know what? I kind of know this stuff. I'm done. Competency-based education says in that 7-week block, if Greg Sims can demonstrate competency over the seven weeks, in the first week, he's done, right? He has to demonstrate competency, not on the old, outdated higher ed model of 16 weeks, okay? So that's what these guys are pitching here. Davida and Abby have a lot of information, and we're really interested in looking and talking to Hunt County about an educated, higher ed educated workforce across the board, and partnering with municipalities within Hunt County and Hunt County itself to make that happen. So you'll hear more on that. And then finally, on point of distinction, our athletic teams have done a tremendous job this past year, in spite of COVID. We didn't play football. We're going to play football, full slate of schedule this coming fall. But our success on the playing field has been unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, and here's a shout out to the women. Our women rock. We have great athletic teams, whether it's women's softball, women's golf, whatever that may be, in the top 10 finishers across the board. And so I can't tell you how proud we are of that. So a lot of good things happening. Okay, so I can't do a presentation without talking about our strategic plan. And we, as a new guy, you get to come in and make the strategic plan. And and kind of put it together. And the plan's bigger than this, but we had 5 goals in our plan, okay? And this is kind of my baby. This is where partially you all come into play as student preparedness. How do we develop skills in our students to get a job, okay? I'm kind of done with this. Higher ed is this place you can find yourself and a well-rounded person. Yeah, I get that, okay? But when I sit down and talk to parents, they're like, yeah, that's great. Is my kid going to get a job or not when they come out of here, right? Or am I going to go to school? So how do we position them the best we can to make them successful when they leave? Elevate research, inclusive community, align our initiatives, and transform our operations, okay? The one I want to focus on a little bit is this one. Align our initiatives with the community. That's where you all come in. We cannot be successful without your help. We cannot be successful without Northeast Dallas's help to make us move forward. And when I first got here, there was a tinge at the university about kind of a woe is me, we're way out in commerce, away from the population base, and how are we going to handle that and so forth. And I got to be honest with you, it was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that they kind of resigned themselves to that, right? But I feel like we are uniquely situated to simultaneously serve the rural and urban needs of Northeast Texas. Okay, that includes DFW, that includes Winsboro, that includes Rains, wherever that may be in Northeast Texas. We have the expertise to be able to do that. And we want to align ourselves and position ourselves to be that duality serving rural and urban needs. So you may or may not know, you've heard of the Dallas excursion that we've had, but what you may not know is that we've already been in Dallas for many years, okay? Whether it's our Mesquite campus, Mesquite site, El Centro site, Collin College, whatever that may be. But now we made a foray into Dallas proper this past year, this past couple months. And there's a number of purposes for that, but let me talk a little bit about this. So who do we expect to be at this Dallas site, okay? Well, we do already cater to a lot of students that do not want to live on campus. And in fact, we found out from COVID and other situations that a lot of our students may be the breadwinner of their family, and they can't afford housing. They can't afford to come up to school. They can go to school, they can make school at night after the job's over, but they can't make it up to Commerce, or they can't live at Commerce to pursue their degree. Also, a lot of our students are economically challenged. We have a lot of students that require grant and financial aid in order for them to go to school. Also, an urban model of education that is a successful model is that your faculty have to be engaged. Your administration has to be engaged, okay? That was one of the mistakes I think we made as an institution of originally getting into Dallas, is that we kind of said, okay, let's set up shop, we'll offer a couple psych classes, business classes, and please people come take the classes, okay? We were not all in. We were not fully committed. We had adjunct teaching the classes. Our administration was not really involved in a lot what was going on there, okay? You can't do that. Those days are over, okay? And we set it up as a MITSI, a multi-institutional teaching center, when we originally went into El Centro in Dallas, which means we were kind of an instructional site, and we were partnering with TWU, UNT Dallas, UNT, UTA. I can guarantee you this. One, that model's over, and two, the regents would have taken my head off if I would have said, hey, we want to go into Dallas, and we want UNT to go with us here. How's that sound? No, that doesn't fly anymore. We're going solo because we can go solo. Close connection to local employment demands, and then centrally located high visibility. When I interviewed for my job, I was told by the chancellor and the regents, get into Dallas proper. Okay, that was one of my charges to do that. And so here's our situation, a map out in Commerce, somehow get into Dallas with a footprint. Okay, we're not going to forsake Commerce, we're not going to forsake Hunt County, but we need to move in, and I'll tell you a little bit more how and why and so forth. So we actually landed at a place that made the most sense for us, at 8750 North Central Expressway. And there's the little dot there, and here's the building, okay? Topgolf building, oh, I take that back. It's now the A&M Commerce building, right? Right? So you'll see signage on here and so forth, but we leased the top 2 floors of this building, which is about 51,000 square feet, okay? It's a beautiful building. 300,000 plus cars drive by this building every day, okay? Highly visible, highly accessible, okay? 51,000 square feet with the first right of refusal to purchase or lease additional floors if need be, okay? It's a beautiful place, Highway 1270, right at the intersection of Highway 1275, Park Lane, shops here, North Side, is it North Side Mall? North Park Mall across the street.
Dark right in there somewhere, Dr.
Yeah, if you look at, if I go back here, about a quarter mile as the crow flies right through the building on this side, there's a DART station, and that'll be fully utilized. Backside, looking into Dallas, here we're on the 19th and 20th floor. 19th floor is currently gutted. We're going to make renovations of that, move it forward. This is facing north, up 75, and we are really excited about that. And we're now getting permitting done, and we're going to have hopefully certificate of occupancy November 1st. Okay, so we're moving quick on this. Okay, again, not limping in the Dallas, but being strategic about being in the Dallas. One of the beauties of this location, and we would never do this unless we had these type of partnerships, are partnerships. You may or may not have seen in the news that we have written partnerships with Dallas College, and the entire Dallas College. This is a bit of a dated slide because I have El Centro, Eastfield, and Richland here, and this is where we're located. We have MOU with these colleges to create pipelines from these community colleges to this site, okay? We are not going to offer lower division freshman, sophomore classes at this site. Can't. They're going to be junior, senior, graduate, okay? Junior, senior, graduate. But we did enter into partnerships and created pathways with these community colleges. Another interesting thing is that this, from here to Dallas ISD headquarters, is probably a 3-minute drive. And I half jokingly joke with our education dean that, yeah, you have an office in this building, but you better figure out a way to get an office in Dallas ISD also and partner with those guys, right? And then finally, we have Texas A&M AgriLife Extension up here. Okay, that's just a couple minutes away also. What's also interesting though is that some of the districts that we do really well in as an institution also are close proximity. Mesquite, Garland, Richardson are all in close proximity to this space and will allow us additional pipelines for maybe kids that are graduating from those high schools with associate's degrees and can come right into their junior year. Okay? These are going to be the initial building occupants come November 1. And let's talk about this. We are going to headquarter our College of Education in that building. We are going to headquarter our College of Business in that building. That person, the dean, is going to be traveling between Dallas and Commerce. We're still going to offer the same slate of classes, same number of faculty. The headquarters is going to be down there, okay? We are going to have a footprint of our ag college down there. And I want to drill down a little bit on that because that's what excites me the most, okay? Our visual communication program that's currently in El Centro that we're actually going to close in order to bring that program to this building is an award-winning program. It's probably one of our best kept secrets, if you can say it that way. We're going to maybe need a floor just to house the trophies and awards that these guys have won as an institution. We're going to have enrollment, communication teams, admission specialists, success teams that help our students with financial aid and registering for classes. We're going to have recruiters. Advancement's going to be down there, research and development. This is not limping in the Dallas. This is going to be, when a student is taking a class in that building, they're going to get the same services, wraparound services that any student has when they're at the Dallas and at the Commerce campus. Okay? Here's initial programs that will be offered, probably starting November 1. Some of these are in the queue to start sometime during the calendar year 22. Okay? But I'm really excited about a lot of these different programs. Let me go back to this for a second. I think our bread and butter is probably going to be these cohorts, these graduate cohorts with business and education. So for example, we have just reached an agreement with Dallas ISD to take 20 to 30 academic advisors within Dallas ISD and run them through our counseling program in succession, 20 and then another 20 and so forth, which is really convenient to do that down here. The thing that really gets me psyched up though is our ag program. We're going to introduce and roll out ag in the Dallas. Now what's interesting about this is that, again, part of this rural-urban ag is, or rural and urban identity is there's rural ag, urban ag. The rural ag that we currently have on our campus right now is the animal, plant science, and so forth. The urban ag is more about food insecurity, food systems. How do you get food from farm to market? We've already had some initial discussions with communities for maybe disadvantaged folks or homeless folks. Imagine a dormitory or a setting that is located contiguous space to a garden, that these individuals are taught to grow the garden and develop and plant and harvest food for food banks and for themselves and so forth. Farm the table. And when you start talking about a business degree down there in supply chain management and logistics, that is a double win there. So a lot more to come there. So when we talk about this move into Dallas, one of the first questions I get is, okay, what's going to happen to commerce? What's going to happen to commerce? Yet, please understand that I'm very careful with the words I use here, because this is a Dallas site. Mesquite is a Mesquite site, all part of the Commerce campus. Okay? There is no campus in Dallas. There will not be, as far as I know, as far as I can see, going to be a Dallas campus in Dallas. Always, and I'll work for this, be part of the Commerce campus. Okay? So imagine a kid that is getting their degree or pursuing the degree at this Dallas site. That head count and those credit hours are counted by A&M Commerce, the main campus. So in formula or state funding, whatever that may be, a student down there is our student. Okay? And what's interesting and what's most really timely about this is that we just went through a legislative session where they recalculated the formula for all the schools. And it's really a situation where there's a finite pot of money and so many credit hours that these schools are generating, and whoever gets the most credit hours gets the most money. Okay? And we actually grew quite a bit, but we didn't grow enough. Okay? And initially, early on in the session, we were going to lose quite a bit of money, even though we gained in student credit hours, because other schools, a handful of other schools, gained a lot. And you know what? Those schools were in urban centers in the state of Texas. Okay? We got to get, A&M Commerce has to get in the game. Okay? We feel like this is going to help with our enrollment, boost our enrollment, boost our visibility within in Northeast Texas. Another thing that I think is really telling that we are not going to forsake commerce is that we have two major initiatives right now that's going on our campus. Okay? One is that we have this tuition revenue bond, which is a program within the state legislature that will be taken up again during this fall session, where we have in there an ag research expo type of center that we want to build on our campus. And right now, it's in the budget for $95 million that we want to build in commerce to augment and support the ag operations in commerce. We have a second project that we're going to fund on our own, kind of a welcome center, kind of a student success center that we're going to build right on 24, right in front of our music building. It's kind of this welcome center to campus. $19 million building, another investment into commerce. Okay? We're not going anywhere. Okay? In fact, we're laying down more roots as we speak. And finally, we have this beautification effort going on campus. All the cool, jazzy things are being built on the west side. And I had a handful of students and faculty who reside on the east side saying, hey, Mark, what about us? All this glitz and glamour in Dallas and the west side of campus, what about us? And now we enlisted the help of a student group that did a study, and now we're actively pursuing beautification, augmentation of the east side of campus to bring it up to speed and add some coolness and, more importantly, food options on the east side of campus. So we are truly excited about where we are, where we've been, and where we're going to go. There's a lot of innovation that still has to occur. And again, we're going to need your help more than ever as we continue down this road. So I appreciate it. And I've cut my remarks. I didn't want to take too long. Dee, I wanted to see if there was any kind of questions out there. I'd be happy to answer any kind of questions you all have.
Dr. Rudin, what are your student projections at the Dallas site? I think you're supposed to. Oh, excuse me.
For the record. Oh, gee. You sure you want Graham for the record here?
Think about how I say no, sir. Dr. Rudin, what are your student projections for the campus, Dallas site?
Yeah. Right now, we did a pro forma. If everyone heard the question, what are the projections for enrollment at the Dallas site? We did a pro forma, presented to the board. We projected about 500 students this coming academic year. Now, we're off to a little bit difficult start because we're not opening the building till November 1, so we're a little squishy on that, and the board knows that. But we have slated probably up to about 2,700 students in year 5. That's where we're projecting. That's where we're projecting. That's our goal, and we got to get to that goal because I got to go in front of the board every year and status them what that success is or not. So.
Other questions? While you're okay.
So, President Reed, this $95 million agriculture area, where are y'all going to build that? Because there's nowhere else on campus for you to go.
Right. We are going to build it. I don't know as you drive in the campus, the old president's house there, right there. Going to tear that down. It's beautiful, right?
I've seen you mowing.
Yeah. I mow that lawn. Speeches like this and fall assemblies were all developed on that lawnmower when I was out there. Just want you to know that. But yeah, it's a beautiful landscape, right, with the trees and the hill. And we're going to try to do everything we can. I mean, please keep your fingers crossed. A $95 million boost, and we may not get all 95. I think right now, coming out of the House, if you know anything that happened in a legislative session, they're going to go into a special session probably later this summer or fall. And their starting point is going to be where they ended up, right? And where they ended up, on the House side, we have our $95 million project. On the Senate side, nothing, okay? So it's quite possible that the rumor mill is saying, okay, if the Senate agrees to this, they may give it a little bit of a haircut. Maybe it'll be 70 million. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take whatever you get, right? And we'll make it work. So it's going to be on that hill. And I think as far as it's kind of embedded in the farms, it'll be a nice area. If hopefully we don't do anything that does not enhance the beauty. We're going to need parking lots and those type of things. But I think it's a great scene, a great setting for that. Yep. I may not be able to cut the lawn anymore, though, when I'm out there. Breaking my heart.
I got a question.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. I was just kidding about that one thing.
I know you were. So, when are we going to go Division I?
No comment.
Okay, well, then I got another question.
Okay.
Tell us about, kind of like where this campus ranks with the other A&M campuses within the whole system. I mean, we're one of the largest, right?
Yeah, I think we're the third largest right now.
Yeah.
Third large in terms of population. I think right around third. College Station 1, I think Tarleton 2, us are Corpus 3, but I think we've overtaken them. But I'll tell you what, this is what's so interesting, and whenever I can, that's what universities do, right? We're just shameless. We like to talk about how great we are, okay? And there's national publications that come out, and one of the national publications that is probably best kind of held not as the Bible of ranking colleges, but kind of up there is U.S. News and World Reports. When that edition comes out, the rankings of U.S. colleges and universities, people grab it and say, okay, where are we? Okay? And the way they do it is they have an initial set of national universities. They call them national universities. Okay? And they rank like the top 200. And so usually like number 1 is Princeton and 2 is Harvard and so forth. And then from 200 to about 380, they just kind of alphabetize them. But they're the top universities. And then from there, they break out into more regional universities, west, south, east, and so forth. And they rank those universities in those areas. There are 4 schools ranked as a national university in U.S. News and World Reports. One of the top 300 plus schools in the nation, according to U.S. News and World Reports and the metrics they use. 4 schools within A&M system: College Station, Corpus, Kingsville, Commerce, right? And people don't realize that, and we do a pretty cruddy job advertising that, okay? We are a nationally ranked university. And if I go back to the strategic plan about elevating research, now remember, I'm an old research guy, right? And there's certain designations. And kind of the Bible for ranking universities in terms of research is the Carnegie Foundation. And Carnegie has these rankings. R1 is the highest research you can be, okay? And there's only a handful of schools that do that. R2 is second tier, R3, and then the rest of the universities, okay? There's only probably a couple hundred in all 3 of those R1, R2, and R3 tiers. Just when I got here, we dropped from R2 to R3. I was like, oh my God, it's ex-VPR. I was a VP I was dying, right? So we want to get back to R2, and we are working towards that because we don't have enough. We have a lot of research going on at our university because we produce so many masters and PhDs. The trick is, how do we take that and get that research funded by the federal agencies? And that's really how you get graded, is how much money do you bring in. So we're working hard to get us back elevated where we need to be and where we should be. So
Dr. Rudin, as a factoid for the group, tell everybody how many acres A&M Commerce owns.
I don't know.
1,200.
1,200 acres?
No, I think it's over 2,000.
Yeah, I think it's like 2,100 acres.
Yeah.
Bigger than UT, bigger than a lot of campuses. A lot of land. We own a lot of land. It may not all be contiguous along 24 there, but we own a lot of land. And we have not, one of the disappointments when I got here is that we had never, for the last couple decades, we never really embraced our ag school mission. Well, I'll tell you what, we're embracing that now. And we're going to be moving that forward.
Dr. Rudin?
Yes.
He didn't give me these questions, although I sat next to him. Texas Tech partners with Bear Industries on their campus. Are you looking at partnering with any industries on the Ag Center?
I'll tell you what, a lot of people, and this is the old economic development guy coming out of me, when I go in front of the legislature, I say, hey, this is going to help us with student growth, student opportunity, okay? But I got to be honest with you, there's a part of me that talent is king, right? And if we can create a pipeline of good ag business, plant science talent, it's my hope that communities like, and cities like Greenville and Commerce and all these little outposts will continue to, will start cropping up of ag-related businesses and attracted to this area. That's what my VP for Economic Development, CC Gassner, is poising herself to work on as we speak. So
How will you how will you evaluate the new block opportunities that students have to take for $750 or $1,000? How will you evaluate how those degrees are being accepted by future employers?
Yeah,
I assume that's an
we haven't
important
had,
part of-
yeah, we haven't had any kind of problem at all. And I'll tell you what, no matter if we teach CBE, these block courses, or we teach the traditional courses face-to-face, or we teach online, we still have to answer to our accrediting body that examines and drills down on the quality and hammers quality. Tell us how the CBE you're going to maintain the quality. Tell us how you're going to maintain the quality if you start teaching classes at Dallas. Okay? How are you doing that at Mesquite? Everything we do is examined to the nth degree to make sure we're producing students and educating them at the same quality across the board. Okay? We haven't had any issues that I can see so far in that regard, because we're held to a standard by a third party to make that happen.
Any more questions?
Just real quick,
Yeah.
really enjoyed your presentation today.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the area.
Yeah.
I wonder how we could, in Greenville, think of ourselves as a college town more. We don't think of ourselves as a college town, and we have, 13,000 students 15 miles away.
Yeah.
So we should. For instance, a couple of years ago, the Texas A&M Commerce men's football team won the national championship. And we should have made much of that in Greenville.
Right.
We should have had a parade. We should have done something to really celebrate that.
Yeah.
Could you comment on, help us know how we can help make Greenville more a part of the fellowship of the university?
Yeah, I appreciate those remarks. And Greg, we've had this discussion before, right?
Yeah.
And we need to ramp this back up again. There is so much more to A&M Commerce than just what people see, right? I think we kind of consider ourselves the higher ed educational hub, but also a social cultural type of hub, right? And there have been instances in the past, for example, that our orchestra, our band has come down here and played, or our choir has come down here and performed. Is there an opportunity for theater to be part? Is there an opportunity for our art exhibits to be exhibited in a Greenville setting? Anything we can do to create that kind of connectivity, let's do it. I'm all for that, right? I think we need to put our heads together and figure out how we make that happen. You know, I think that I heard a couple of folks in the room here say we need talent, we need staff, we need workers. We also have 11,500 people up there right now that could be potential workers. Not only workers, but also internships, and you develop those type of relationships also. So I think we need to figure out ways to make that happen. And we also need, my athletic director is going to kill me about this, but if someone would build us a baseball stadium, we'd love to have baseball in Commons, right? Maybe I overstepped there a little bit, but
When are we going to D1?
that may have to be part of the package. So I'm always interested in those discussions. We have not done enough. We have to figure out a way to bridge that gap a little bit more. I agree.
Dr. Rudin, thank you for your
Thank you
time
so
and your
much.
presentation.
I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Rudin.
Thanks.
We also want to thank Texas A&M for your partnership with the Chamber. Before you leave, I just wanted to see if there was anyone that had business information or news that they wanted to share about something coming up. So I'd love for you to take the mic and tell us about it.
Hi, I'm Katie Mckenna. I'm the Assistant Director of the Hunt Regional Healthcare Foundation. We have our annual gala coming up on Friday, June 18th. We'd love for you all to join us. We know it's been a tough year, but we're excited to have an in-person gala again. We're raising money this year for our ER department, our surgery department. They were hit really hard this past year, so we have found some new technology to better equip them in case of anything future comes along. We are always looking for new ways to improve the healthcare here in Hunt County, and as you know, we're undergoing an expansion, so we're always looking for new things. We hope you can join us. It's going to be a fun night of dancing and dinner. We just like to come and have fun. There's not a lot of talking or anything, so it's a good time. I know there's a few board members in here that'll be there, so we hope you can join us. You can buy tickets on our website or come see me after this event.
Anybody else?
I'm Katie Williams with GEUS. I'm also a chamber ambassador. I left a flyer on your table, and if you're not familiar with the GEUS Roundup program, I invite you to go to our website and read a little bit more about that. For, I don't know, over a decade, GEUS has donated annually $15,000 to our community to help people that need assistance with their utility bills. And our board, along with the city council, chose to grow that program and invite the community to join us in that. And that's what the Roundup program is. So sign up your business, sign up your home. It's no more than $12 a year per location, because you're just rounding up to the nearest dollar. And but together we can help so many people in our community, especially those who have struggled this last year, but continuing forward as well for anybody that needs that assistance. So go to our website. It won't take you 5 minutes. Get your businesses and your home signed up, and thank you for helping us to make our community better.
I was just going to tell y'all to please take some t-shirts. We didn't want to take them back. And also, if you are interested in any of our competency-based education courses, or you have employees that are, we will come to your businesses and talk with your employers. We'll have information sessions, so please just reach out to us and let us know.
Sorry, you just made me think of something. You know, oftentimes universities are seen as these, I'm not going to pull any punches because we're all friends in here, as these liberal bastions. When I first got here, I heard loud and clear from people saying, are you going to have, again, liberal, democratic, left-leaning speakers all the time? Is that what you're going to do? And if we're anything, we should be an institution that acknowledges and listens to both sides of every issue. True. Right? And so just recently we hosted Congressman Fallon at our institution. And were there people that disagreed with him? Yep. And we had also left-leaning people. Were there people that disagreed with them? Yep. I don't care. We're going to listen to them. We're going to listen to them in a civil manner, and we're going to respect and understand that there's two sides to every story. Okay? And so we are making a concerted effort to continue that pendulum, left and right, political leanings, left and right, to make sure that we consider all points of view at the university. And the next one we have lined up, and I don't know if any of you take this magazine, National Review. It's kind of a conservative publication. That sometime in September, and I'm just blanking on the date right now, but the editor of that magazine, Rich Lowry, who's been on a number of TV broadcasts and so forth, is coming to A&M Commerce to give a talk. So we're expanding our horizons as a university, and I was thinking of that when you thought about why couldn't A&M Commerce host someone like Lowry down here in Greenville, right? Or we have a Rayburn speaker series that we really haven't resurrected since COVID, and we usually bring in a big name. I don't know why we couldn't do it down there. If we could figure out a way to get our students down there, I'd love. Let's have that discussion.
Thank you.
With this many business owners here in this room, I'd be remiss if I didn't make a comment about the Cotton Patch Challenge that the Rotary Club puts on every year. Last year, due to the pandemic, the Cotton Patch Challenge was the only fundraising event that we had. We typically have a chili fest, the National Chili Day every year. I think it's the fourth Thursday in February. We didn't get to have that. We had used to have the haunted landmark. Due to some building concerns, we're not able to have that. So the Cotton Pass Challenge last year was the only event that we had, and we were limited to 400 riders. The late John Clark very masterfully designed it and presented to the city, so they allowed us to have the Cotton Pass Challenge. This year, there's no restrictions. Our own Katie Ridge is chairman of the Cotton Pass Challenge, and I work for her in this effort.
I work for Rotary.
Well, you didn't tell me that. You told me I work for you. But I'm involved in the sponsorship sales. Now, don't cringe when I say sponsorship, because typically sponsorships, we're asking for donations. This time, we think it's a marketing. We think there's value in it. The way that Katie and others have put it together with the various advertisement that we're going to be doing before that and day of, we think there's great value in that. And at certain various levels, we'll even share with you the database of all the riders so that you can do a group email or email campaign, a marketing campaign of all those that are coming to town. We've got hotel discounts listed already on our webpage for those that are coming. We've even got camping discount. That large RV site on exit 101 going to be giving discounts for those who bring their RVs in. It is a big deal. Now, we sent out an email blast to all members of the chamber about 2 weeks ago. Sadly, had one response. With this presentation that I'm giving right now, I hope I'm inundated with some of you who have not yet become sponsors. We've got levels all the way from $100 all the way up now, I think, to $2,500. So, think about it. Support now. The Rotary Club takes that money and we give every bit of it away. The Rotary members pay all of the expenses of the club. None of the money that we raise, that we net, is used in our operations. It all goes primarily to nonprofits, and they depend upon us.
And scholarships.
And scholarships. So I think last year we gave $10,000 or $12,000 in scholarships. So think about it, become a sponsor, and help us help the community.
Well, since you brought it up, you know I can't stay silent. So yes, we definitely need sponsorships. They're all different levels, and I'm going to give a shout out because right before we came up here, Latson's that's sitting over in the corner over there, they're working on some marketing ideas and marketing materials for us. So it's not just going to be, you know, your tiny little logo on the back of a shirt. We're going to have it blown up. I mean, because I'm a business owner, and when you give money for a sponsorship, I understand what that means to you, and I want to make sure that we have that information out and you are represented as a business. The other thing that I don't remember what I was going to say now. The other thing that we desperately need, one of the new ideas that I have instituted this year, because last year with COVID, the feedback that we got from all the riders was how thankful that they were that we were putting this event on, because everybody else canceled their events. And it didn't matter if it was triathlons, marathons, bike rides, it didn't matter. Everybody else canceled except for us. So everybody's at home, right? You know, what do? They go out and buy kayaks and bikes, right? So they can get out and do something. So this year, suddenly there's 2 million bike rides all over the Metroplex and everywhere else. So we have to set ourselves apart this year and start drawing in more riders. And one of the ideas that I had was, what if we offer free stuff from the community, from the businesses in the community? And I've had several of the, especially downtown businesses, and Tin Cup is offering an appetizer. So Landon's is doing a free glass of wine for our riders. So we need the business owners. I don't care, it doesn't have to be food-based. Lenore Cole is giving away lip balms. The Cheeseboro and what's their name? Campbell is giving away a chocolate to all of our riders. So if you own a business anywhere in Greenville, Shenanigans is doing a free bowling game. I need just one little item that you would commit to giving away to the riders, and you know as well as I do, not all 800 riders are going to come into your store. It's probably going to be more like 100, if that. So if you have some item to actually be able to give, please let me know so that we can add that. We're marketing that on our website as well.
All right, and before you leave, we just have a few giveaways. So Lone Star Credit Union here has a $25 gift card. Alyssa's going to draw
Will, you cannot win your home.
It's David Wheeland.
David
Wyland. Next, we have Pretext Bubbles is giving away something.
Oh, I get to go again. You don't want to help? Willie.
Annette Wyland. And then Alliance Bank has several things.
I don't really like this attention anymore.
Two wireless speakers go first.
Roxanne Turner.
We're on the drive table. Can you keep coming around?
Reverend Dr. Nicholas Funk.
And then we have four $25 gift cards.
I didn't put my name there. I didn't get to fill out the page.
Karen Clark. Julia Winsel. Debbie Sickles. Mike Horn. Once again, thank you for coming and have an amazing day.